Hello, welcome to lesson 6. In this lesson, we are going to look at the frequency polygon. This is obtained by plotting frequency against class marks, or what we call the mid marks. And then we join the consecutive points using a straight line as this sketch shows. So we have frequency on the vertical axis and then class marks on the horizontal axis. Then we plot frequency against class marks and then join the points plotted using straight lines. Let's look at an example. The table below shows the weight of some patients recorded from a certain health clinic. So that is the table. Using the above information, construct a frequency polygon. So they want us to construct a frequency polygon using this. So in our solution, we need mid-max, because remember we need mid-max and frequency. So we have our table, the frequency distribution table here, the weight and then the frequency. But what was not given is the mid-mark or the class mark, which is used. And when I say the mid-mark in this case, if it is weight, of course we are talking about the mid-weight. And that is the same as that is usually the same as the class mark, because this is the class and then we have what we call a class mark, which is the midweight in that case. So here we shall have this column for midweight or the mid mark X. So remember how we get the mid mark. The mid mark is got by getting we get the lower class limit plus the upper class limit and then divide by 2. So we shall get 50 plus 54 and then divide by 2, and that will give us 52. Then we also get 55 plus 59 divide by 2, that is 57. Then we get 60 plus 64 divided by 2, that is 62. And then we get 65 plus 69 divided by 2, that is 67. And then 70 plus 74 divided by 2, that is 72. Then we have 75 plus 79 divided by 2, that gives us 77. And then lastly we have 80 plus 84, that is 164, divided by 2, which gives us 82. So there we have the mid-marks. And after that, we are now going to plot the frequency polygon. So let me get here my graph paper, so you can get a graph paper or a graph book. We are going to be plotting or constructing the frequency polygon. So first of all, we need to have that heading, frequency polygon. Every graph that you draw, always you should have a title to that graph. So here our title is going to be the frequency polygon, and we are going to have the axis drawn, that is the vertical axis, and then the horizontal axis. So we are going to leave 1 centimeter, that is 1 centimeter here from the edge of the graph shall have the vertical axis there, and then also we shall leave 1 centimeter down, and then we shall have the horizontal axis there. After that, we know that we are plotting a frequency polygon, so we shall be having frequency against class mark or mid mark. So we shall have here our frequency, and then down here we shall have the class mark. Now let us mark off this. First of all, we're going to have, remember the frequency, the highest frequency is 14. If you look at our data, the highest frequency is 14. So we need to mark off. When you count, we have from here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and so on. So it means that we have already, we can count around 14 centimeters, over 14 centimeters. So it means that each centimeter can represent one, a frequency of 1. So we shall start with 0, then move on like that. So let's mark off first of all here. Shall mark off there. Just to avoid overcrowding, I'm going to mark off at an interval of 2 centimeters. Then we shall have that. Then also we are going to mark off this side. That is the class mark. Also shall mark off that using 2 centimeters for each class. Then after that we shall start off 0. Then we are now labeling the frequency, or marking off the frequency. So here we have 0, then the next is going to be 2, since we have said that each centimeter is representing 1, so this is 1, this is 2. So we have marked off as an interval of 2 centimeters, so we shall have 2, 4 like that. So we shall have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Can also have that 16. Then this side, we are marking off class marks. So when you look at the class marks, we have 52, 57, 62, 67, 72, 77, and 78. So here we shall not begin from this point. We are going to start from this point here. So we shall not start from here, because remember we have to plot that 52. So since we are going to plot the 52, we are not going to plot it on the axis. So we shall start with 52 is going to be here. So we shall have our 52 here, and then 57, 62, 67, 72, 77, and lastly 82. After marking off and labeling, we are now going to do the plotting. So first of all, we are plotting the frequency of 3 against 52. 3 against 52. This is going to be here. Then we are going to plot 5 against 57 here. And then we're going to plot 4 against 62 here. And then we are going to plot 10 against 72 here. Oh, sorry, not against, 10 is not against 72, but 10 is against 67, sorry. It's against 67, 10 against 67, so 10 against 67, so we plot it there. And then we are going to plot 12 against 72, 12 against 72, so that one will be here. and then you're going to plot 14 against 82. 14 against 82. But before we plot 14 against 82, let us plot, we're going to plot 14 against, 14 is not against 82, but 14 is against 77, not against 82. 14 against 77, yeah. So it's going to be here. 14 against 77 is going to be here. And then lastly, 8 against 82. 8 against 82. So you're going to have it here. Yeah, so we're done with the plotting. Then the next is you are going to join the points that we have plotted with straight lines consecutively. So we shall join this, that, and so on. So let's start off. Have that, then join that. That is going to be joined to that, then to that, then there. So this is our frequency polygon. Let's also look at what we call quartiles, because in our next lesson we are going to be using these terms. So I want to see it in this lesson so that in the next lesson we can easily use them. So when we talk of quartiles, these are quantities that divide a set of values or a set of data into 4 equal parts. And these quartiles are, we have the lower quartile, which is abbreviated as Q1, Q subscript 1. The lower quartile, this is a value that divides 25% way through the distribution when the observations are arranged in order of magnitude. So Q1 is going to be 25 over 100 times the total number of observation, where n is the number of observation. Let's also talk about the next, that is the second quartile. The second quartile, that is Q2, Q subscript 2. This is the same as the median. It divides the observation into 2 equal parts. That is, it divides 50% of the distribution when the distribution is arranged in order of magnitude. So for us to get the second quartile, it's going to be 50%, that's 50 out of 100 of the observation, where n is still the observation. Let's also look at the upper quartile, which is represented using Q3. So for the upper quartile, it is the value that divides 75% way through the distribution when the observations are arranged in order. So that Q3 is going to be given as 75 over 100 times the number of observations. So we shall be in position to do this in the next lesson, and we shall see exactly how to come up with this upper quartile and then lower quartile. Let's also talk about the interquartile range. The interquartile range is the difference between the upper quartile and the lower quartile. So the interquartile is going to be Q3 minus Q1. That is the interquartile range, or what we just call the interquartile. Then we also have what we call the semi-interquartile range. So this is half the interquartile range. It's just half the interquartile range. So we shall get it by having the interquartile and then divide by 2. Yeah, so that is it. Thank you for your attention in this lesson. In our next lesson, we are going to look at the cumulative frequency curve, or what we call the OGIF, and we shall also use that OGIF to find the median, to find the quartiles, the lower quartile, the upper quartile, the interquartile, the semi-interquartile range. Yeah, so that's what we shall be doing in the next lesson. Thank you for your attention in this lesson. We meet in the next lesson.